reporters, welcome back to my channel. I know I normally go live when it comes to recapping Kailyn Lowry's podcast episodes. However, today's the 14th of July, which is Bastille Day, which means that it is France's birthday. So there's a lot of celebrations going on tonight, which means that I will not be able to go live. So I wanted to do this pre-recorded for you. So this came out first to my channel members. So if you would like to have like early access to videos like this or to join us in our members only streams, make sure to sign up for a channel membership down below. So you guys, let's get into what went down on this week's episode of Coffee Convos podcast. Kail tells Lindsay and all of us that she just met Elijah's parents and it went well. They were incredibly nice to her, and she reminisces on the last time that she was formally introduced to a boyfriend's parents, and she says that that was when she was 9 months pregnant with Lux, that Chris finally decided, you know what, I guess at this point I can't hide it. It's time for you to meet my parents. And she says that it did not go well at all. First of all, Chris did not even stick around to do like a formal like conversation with his parents or anything like that. He left to play basketball. Guys, imagine being knocked up by a total loser like that. Like, I would be so humiliated and embarrassed that I'm knocked up by a freaking child, basically. Like, that is not a man in any shape, you know, way, shape, or form. So she says that it feels kind of sad to her that the people she dates don't have anybody to answer to. She feels like she's got like people's parents to answer to, their siblings, their aunts, their uncles, but when it comes to her, there's like nobody in her corner because, you know, her parents, they're deadbeats, right? And that makes her sad when she thinks about how everybody else gets to have that. And that did make me feel quite sad for her as well, because that can't be a good feeling, to feel like you don't have a family in this world. Like, and it just reminded me of how kind of pathetic it is. Well, not kind of, but like truly pathetic it is that Brianna De Jesus and her family like to make fun of her for that. Like, that's not something that Kail can control. If anything, that is something to make fun of her parents for, or like to talk crap about them for, but not the child in the situation. I really don't like when they do that sort of thing. So she did also mention that she feels humiliated about the fact that she has to answer for the fact that she's got like 4 kids by 3 different baby daddies. And listen, Kail just turned 30, so it still is quite incredible that she has amassed such an army at her young age. You know what I mean? So I could totally understand why she feels humiliated about that, especially when you're dating a 24-year-old. I still don't understand this. A childless 24-year-old nonetheless. Like, I have to be honest with you guys. I don't know, like, where his I'm sure his family was nice to her, but do they genuinely approve of this situation? I'm inclined to believe no, because I don't know, like, would you be happy, like, if your 24-year-old son or daughter were seeing somebody like Kail, not only like in her situation with the multiple baby daddy situation, but just like her as a person? Like, we've seen her over the years and we just see her personality and it's not a good one. So would you be happy? I personally would not. Anyway, she says, back to the whole 4 kids by 3 baby daddies, she kind of reasons it by saying that her and Joe were young and they had a teen pregnancy, okay? Then when it came to Javi, they were married, so it's only natural that they had a child. And then she had a toxic relationship with Chris for 5 years, so technically it's not bad that she's only got 3 baby daddies right now. And so I'm like, okay, like, I get it, the teen pregnancy thing, I get it, the marriage thing. I can kind of get it, the abusive relationship thing too, but I don't know. I don't think that like having a child is the default of a toxic relationship, even if it's a relationship that's lasted several years, you know. I don't know, but I get it. I get the way that she is rationing it. It still is, though, something that is quite shocking, especially with her only just turning 30 years old. So yeah, it definitely has to be humiliating having to explain that, I imagine. She says that the barbecue that she met Chris's family at was the one that she threw in her own house. So imagine you're inviting your baby daddy's family to your house for a barbecue, and that man is not even gonna like hold you down like a real man. He's gonna like go play with your basketball on your basketball court, you know, shooting the ball in your hoops that you paid for. Like, oh my God, how was she ever attracted to this man? I cannot get with a man who is not like, you know, like manly, like a man, like who would like, you know, be by your side for these sorts of things, like who would like hold down the fort, just like be a man. Like, I don't know how these girls do it. I can't. I'm not into men like this. Like, my guy has to be like, he's got to be like it. He's got to be set. He's got to be like a provider. He's got to be like suited and booted. He's got to like just be all of these things. Actually, not technically suited and booted. He could wear a uniform too. I'm really into firefighters these days, you guys. But still, like, he's got to like have something going for him. So like, just like the way that this guy ran off in his like childhood energy to just like let Kail be the man and the woman in that situation just by herself was just like so gross to me. So she kind of throws shade at his family by saying that his family showed up to her barbecue empty-handed. Guys, that is not cool. When you go to somebody's house, you always have to bring something, you know, a barbecue. Bring like wine, bring like rosé, you know what I mean? Bring some hamburger patties, bring something, you know, bring a salad, fruit salad even, bring dessert, bring something. So that is weird. She says the only person who showed up with anything was his mom, who showed up with a bamboo tree. His aunt, she showed up with beef, but not the type you can grill. She showed up looking to fight Kail, not physically, but she really went in on Kail, claiming that Kail broke up Chris's other relationship and that she was knowingly the other woman. It's like, auntie, you are a whole clown, because at the end of the day, Chris's other relationship was Chris's. So you take that up with him. You know, Kail is pregnant at this point, very heavily pregnant. She said she was 9 months pregnant. So what even is the point of going in on her at that point? Go in on your loser nephew who is running around cheating on women and knocking women up and just running away like a little child to play basketball, instead of, you know, handling this conversation between all of you guys. If you want to discuss this, you should have made sure that Chris was there, so that, you know, you're not going to have a he said, she said situation where he can kind of twist things around. He's got to, like, you know, talk his talk in front of Kail so she can call him out on the lies, and Kail's got to talk her talk so he can call her out on the lies as well there. You know, that was very lame. And so now she kind of circles back to hanging out with Elijah's family. She says that they went to Red Lobster and she was recognized by the bartender at Red Lobster. The bartender claimed to be a fan of Kail. Okay. And Chris's mom was like, oh, I didn't even know like who you were. So I guess Kail did not mention that she was on a TV show to the family, which is interesting, because I'm sure like the family would have been curious. How does someone who had a teen pregnancy, went through all these different baby daddies, has all these different kids, and is only 29, 30 years old, how do you live in a house like this? You know, I'm sure that was a question that was asked at some point, but I digress. Listen, Kail is not known to be that truthful. She's kind of like Janelle-like. You know, her and Janelle are very similar in a lot of respects, and yeah, being not so truthful is one of them. So she says that she does not usually eat on dates with people, which kind of shocked me, because listen, I love to eat on dates and have drinks. Like, that's how I know if a man is cheap or not. If he's offering to take me out to dinner, if he's offering to have like drinks or something like that, green light. If he's asking me to go to the park, have a picnic, red light. And I'm talking red light like in Squid Games. Hell no. So I think she said that she suffers a little bit from irritable bowel syndrome. So okay, I guess I get it from that respect. That's got to be like uncomfortable with these sorts of things. And yeah, the podcast after that kind of talks about like bodily fluids and stuff like that, like going to the bathroom and farting and stuff. And honestly, that's something that really puts me off about her podcasts, especially the ones with Lindsay. They talk about these things so much. I'm starting to think they have a scat fetish, and it's just too much for me. It's not entertaining, and I really don't like hearing it. Then after that, they got into like true crime, which, listen, I'm not there for the true crime. I'm there for the messy tea on her messy life. Anyway, you guys, that does it. A recap of what went down on this week's episode of the Coffee Convos podcast. And as always, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it. So make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.